not to face necessarily street-to-street fighting, but to try to aim to clear individual pockets and take control of those. Let's find out a little bit more about what is happening from the Israeli point of view. We can speak now live to Miri Eisin, who is director for the International Institute for Counter-Terrorism at Reichman University and was also the former deputy head of combat intelligence at the Israeli Defense Force. She's live with us from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to us here on BBC News. Can I just ask you, first of all, Miri Eisin, yesterday, COGAT, which for our viewers who don't know is the Israeli Office for the Coordination of Activities in the Palestinian territories, said that there was no humanitarian crisis inside Gaza. Do you share that view?
What we've been seeing both today and in the last few days, as I've been listening to the wonderful person in Cairo, listening to you, to Yolanda before, can we all agree that war is a horrible thing? And yes, the humanitarian aspect of it is the absolute worst. How about let's try and finish a war, and wars don't happen. Okay, here I am sitting in Herzliya, and my heart goes out to civilians in Israel. My heart goes out to civilians in the Gaza Strip, and we all need to make sure that Hamas, as you said, in control for 17 years, they're not sitting in burnt out buildings. They are sitting in the defense system that they built to protect the terrorists themselves using civilians. What they've done is using terror tactics in a terror army war. And we all want to help those civilians as we speak right now. And I'm sure you have those tapes as well, because I don't know what you're streaming on the screen as I'm watching myself right now, right? Is you can see that there are humanitarian corridors that have been from the beginning, that Israel has constantly said to the civilians, this is a war, move to where it's safe. And as we speak today, right now, there are those corridors, and they are being protected by those Israeli soldiers who are deep inside Gaza. Who is trying to stop the civilians from going south? The Hamas. Those civilians are their protection. My heart goes out to them. We'd never target them. And this is one of the biggest challenges for me as a mother and as a colonel. How do you do it even better? I want us to be held up to the level that you're constantly demanding of us. But, oh, my God, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I mean, you say that let's encourage the civilians to move south. I mean, while we're speaking to you, we're seeing pictures of the Israeli forces operating inside Gaza. You say let's move the civilians south, but there were Israeli airstrikes south yesterday around Khan Yunis with reports of more than 20 people killed. So if you're encouraging people to move south and then you're shelling the south, where is safe?
Where is safe? Israel has defined from the beginning, first of all, where is safe is when Hamas does not do, not just the attack of October 7th. You realize they've been planning this for years from the Gaza Strip. They didn't wake up and do that atrocity on October 7th without training, planning, and building their defense system. So I look at the civilians, and Israel was very clear of the safe areas, and those safe areas are safe areas. Is the war nice and easy and pretty? As I said before, I am going to agree. It is horrible. Wars are horrible. And in wars, sadly, civilians get killed. There's a difference, and I do think that there's a difference between the atrocities of October 7th and the continuation of the lies that have continued with that, and with our trying to go against what this terror organization did. And please put on also the films that we've put out there. It's not that it's pretty, of droves of Palestinians over the last few weeks and over today and yesterday, trying to go south in those humanitarian corridors. As we speak right now, you say we attacked, and I say right now they're going south. Why not show that also? Hamas, by the way, have put out that you're not allowed to show the civilians going south because that's not good publicity. And I say this is horrible where we are right now. How can this be?
Okay, can I ask you about the long-term strategy here? I mean, Israel says that it wants to obliterate Hamas and obviously get the hostages back, those 240 or so hostages that remain and who were seized so violently on the 7th of October. Do you really believe, does Israel really believe that even if it wipes out Hamas's main fighters, Hamas as a group, can it really wipe out Hamas ideology? And is the IDF's strategy here? Is the constant bombardment simply sowing the seeds of hatred for generations to come?
Isn't that the biggest dilemma that we all have right now? So what would you have us do? Allow Hamas, with the hostages, doing such a modus operandi against not Israel? Would you like to think of what that is and how it would have the implications around the world? Let's go do a ground attack with atrocities, take hostages, and at the end continue to rule? I want to hope, and I'm talking in that sense to anybody, that all of us who support Palestinian rights, that they support a state. I'm the one who says that all of the time, and I have my entire adult life. Hamas is not the one who wants to build that safe Palestinian state. They want to obliterate Israel. I don't think that we can erase the ideology. I'm agreeing with you, but we can take it one step at a time. And I really do hope that none of us want to hope that an ideology that calls for the genocide of another country, that calls for our annihilation, that does it with those atrocities on October 7th and continues to do so, and uses the hostages and uses their own civilians as their defense, that's the ideology that people will continue to support. And I'm with you. I absolutely understand and acknowledge that what we're doing now does not help the immediate aspect of that next generation. But I don't think that that next generation should have Hamas as the thing that they look up to, should have the atrocities of October 7th as the one that they aspire to. We need to, as I said, war is horrible, and Hamas started the most atrocious war there is.
Okay, Miri Eisin, Director of the International Institute for Counter-Terrorism, live from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much indeed. Talking